You have an amazing idea. You've written out your first draft. When you reread it, feel a little lost. The story might seem aimless, like it's just a bunch of things thrown together to create a narrative, instead of a narrative built up of different events that lead to the next event. This is a problem I discovered in the Doctor Who episode Wild Blue Yonder. And we are going to take a look at what we can do as writers to avoid this particular hiccup. Now, looking at the episode, it is very character-based. We literally only have 2 actors in this whole episode. We have, well, I mean, technically we have 4 with the cold open, but for the majority of the episode, we only have 2 actors, David Tennant and Catherine Tate, playing the Doctor and Donna, and the copies of the Doctor and Donna as the not things, which is how we're going to be referring to them throughout this video, because that is the title or name that they have been given in fandom. With this, the episode is built to be character central, and yet when looking into it, it doesn't seem to know if it wants to be. The scenes in the episode seem to scratch the surface of deeper themes without really wanting to go any deeper and really focus on anything that is an internal struggle or anything that could change the dynamic between the Doctor and Donna. This doesn't create emotional impact. And we're going to be talking about how to create emotional impact through the focus of your story. Now, in my dive into the writing of Doctor Who, I have broken up Doctor Who episodes into 3 different categories. We have, number 1, the social commentary. Now, these episodes do not focus on character. They don't focus on the character arcs. They kind of take up a lot of Doctor Who. Usually there's like little bits sprinkled in that lead to a bigger character arc, but mostly they focus on a message of the story. These are episodes like Midnight and Gridlock. Midnight looking at mob mentality and how stress and social pressures changes how we would act. And Gridlock looking at pollution and looking at general conformity. These episodes are not emotional in a way that stays with the characters. The emotion of this episode really ties to the episode itself and does not carry any further than the end of that particular episode. There are 2 different types of the social commentary episodes. One would be the straightforward social commentary ones where they don't focus on character and really the main thing is the social commentary. The second is when you focus on character and you look at interpersonal relationships instead of the monsters being the main thing. Father's Day from season 1 and the Lazarus Experiment from season 3. They're ones that the characters are really the focus and how they tackle the situation is the focus instead of the message. It's really how they deal with it. 2 is the monster-based episode. These are ones like Blink and The Unquiet Dead. They focus on the mythology of a new creature. They aren't here to add character arc. Again, you can sprinkle in character arc, as Doctor Who usually does. Monster-based episodes are to create mythology around a new creature. In Blink, we barely see the Doctor and Martha because the main objective of this episode is to introduce the Weeping Angels. And in The Unquiet Dead, we are introduced to this entity, I can't remember what they're called, but the main focus of the episode is discovering things about these characters. The last type is what I'm going to call the ribbon episodes. And I'm calling them this because they usually take place at either the beginning or the end of a season. And they're usually here to wrap up the plot line of the season. These episodes would be ones like the pilot in season 10 and Journey's End at the end of season 4. These episodes fully focus on character, with the early episodes introducing a new character like the companions, and ones at the later half looking at how characters deal with very high stakes situations. While watching Wild Blue Yonder, it was really a struggle for me to find where this episode fit into these categories. It doesn't fit into the social commentary type because they didn't dive into any particular message, and also they didn't dive into the Doctor and Donna's relationship to any deeper extent. It also doesn't fit into the monster-focused episode type because we don't really know what the not things are. We know that they come from the nothing, but the main mystery of the episode is not what they are, it's why the ship is there and what is going on the ship. So really the ship is the main mystery, not the things. We don't really get a scene of the not things being explained as we do in all the like monster-based episodes. Instead, we just get the Doctor running around and being like, why is this ship weird? The creatures were not shown as the most interesting things in this episode. Lastly, it doesn't fit into the ribbon type because it's not at the beginning or end of a season or story arc, so it just is there and does not really seem to do anything. Your story needs a focus. And I know this can be hard. It's really tricky to navigate what part of your story to zero in on. It does really boil down to what you want to say with this story. And if it's a bigger narrative, how this story fits into that bigger story. Is there a message you want to convey? Is there a character that you're looking to introduce? There are a lot of different reasons to write a story, but there needs to be a clear purpose for this story in particular. You need to zoom out and look at your story objectively. Ask yourself, what is this story that you have right now trying to do? What is it trying to get across? There is always going to be more to your story that you want to explore. It's kind of like the iceberg theory by, I think it's like Ernest Hemingway, who said that all of the stuff your audience sees on the top is like the top of an iceberg. All that they see is the top of the iceberg, and then everything that you know about your story is the bottom of the iceberg. In this case, the top of the iceberg is everything that you can write in the focus of your story, and the bottom is all the other stuff that you can put in as subtext, or you can put in the background or something. But it has to have that top layer that is the biggest, most important part of your story. Another issue that I found with not just Wild Blue Yonder, but the 60th anniversary overall, is what is the character arc of the 14th Doctor? I feel like every single episode, every single video, I talk about character arcs, but it is a real problem in Doctor Who. I don't see a character arc for the 14th Doctor or Donna in the specials. I'm just putting it out there. There's no character arc visible. Where is it? I can't find it. It's nowhere. It's nowhere to be found. The main thing that I loved about Donna back in season 4 was that she had a character arc of learning her worth and getting past all the negativity from her mother and really growing into herself and becoming confident in her own skills. In the 60th anniversary, she got nothing. She's just there. And I don't see her growing. I don't see her having a lesson she has to learn. it just seems like she's along for the ride, and it doesn't really mean anything. I don't understand why it had to be her specifically. I know that we have the whole meta crisis thing, and that was resolved in the Star Beast, but other than fan service, I don't really understand why Donna had to be here in particular. I love Catherine Tate, but why? Why not give her a character arc that makes sense for her now? Because there isn't a lot going on with Donna in this episode. She wants to go home and there's nothing else going on for her. It would have made sense if they dove into who Donna is now, that the meta-crisis effects are gone from her brain. Because she has lived these last 15 years with the meta-crisis like effects in her mind influencing her behavior. And now that that's gone, who is she? And this is a new version of Donna, because we had Donna back in season 4, we had her with the meta-crisis effects in the last episode. This is a fully new character, or at least like there's progression. She's lived a whole life of 15 years on Earth with her husband and daughter. She doesn't seem vastly different from when we knew her in season 4. Where's her arc? What's she learning? What's she here to do? In the same sense, the Doctor doesn't really have a clear arc. Sure, he has the mystery of like why this face came back, but other than that, there's not much. And also in this episode, they only bring that up like once, and it's not the main focus. When, let's face it, we only had 3 episodes with the 14th Doctor. And what was the big mystery? What was the big arc? Was there a lesson from this? I'm making this video after the last episode has come out, so I know what they're supposed to be working towards. It would have made more sense, knowing that now, if they like made hints or like really played up that the 14th Doctor was like very emotional or pretty like tired. But no, he's like running down corridors. He's still doing the same old stuff, and it doesn't really seem to affect him at all. It doesn't feel like there's a build up to that. It's just all of a sudden he tired. He has one outburst, but I don't know, didn't really feel like enough. Now, there was an interview with Russell T Davies where he said that this episode is a story designed to push them as far as they can go. What? Where, sir? Where? This would make a lot more sense if there was actually an emotional breaking point in this episode, which there is not. And also, the characters are basically the same at the beginning of the episode as they are at the end. Nothing changes for them. It's just, oh, that was weird. We're just gonna, you know, sit around for a minute. That was odd. We do get the conversation between Dawn and the Doctor where she's like, what actually happened? A lot. Cool, so the Doctor's still not opening up. He's got all that stuff, but nothing's changed between them. Nothing's changed between the Doctor and Donna, specifically. The Doctor's still keeping all this drama inside. Donna's still kind of nudging him to open up, as she always does. Same old, same old. The emotional breaking point is something this episode is lacking. And I think this could have been tied to the idea that the Doctor and Donna don't actually know each other in this precise moment. Like, they knew each other back like 15 years ago, but now things have changed. And it would have been really interesting if we dove into who Donna is now, who the Doctor is now. Maybe they don't actually know each other that well, and that would lead up to tension. That would give us some kind of tension in this episode that's supposed to be a horror movie, but there's no freaking tension. And that would lead up to an emotional breaking point. The closest we get to an emotional breaking point in the actual episode is when the Doctor mistakenly takes the wrong Donna, takes her into the TARDIS. But this isn't an emotional breaking point because there's no lead up. There was no lead up to this. There's no reason for this except for Catherine Tate's brilliant performance. And the only reason the Doctor actually knows that it's not Donna is because the TARDIS freaking tells him. This, no payoff. There's no payoff because it's not like from anything they learned. It's the TARDIS literally saying, hey, that's weird. It's kind of odd, you know? I want to check that out. Now let's move into fixing the episode. Hey, my favorite part. Let's see what I can do with this. Okay, so there are two things I'm going to be adjusting with this episode. One, I'm going to be giving a clear emotional focus for the episode. Two, giving the episode a bigger part to play in this three-part series? Three-part special. I will be making the episode a social commentary episode. And that's the second type of social commentary because we're going to be diving into the characters of this episode. So we are not going to be having scenes where they're trying to figure out what the not things are. We're going to leave that bit. That's fine. We're going to leave it. Instead, you're going to focus on how the Doctor and Donna being copied affects their relationship and their relationship dynamics. The theme of this episode. I love the theme. Themes are good. Themes are beautiful. The theme of this episode, identity. The main mystery of the specials is why this face has come back, why David Tennant is back. The scene I would put this in is when the Doctor is talking to not Donna. And she brings up the flux and all that stuff. And that's fine. It's okay. I mean, sure, it's like, hey, Russell's still gonna keep the flux stuff, whoop-de-doo. But I think what would have been even better if the not Donna would have like teased him with something. Maybe she makes hints that she can see something that the Doctor can't. That maybe his heightened emotions are tied to why this face came back or something. And it's like, tie it into the main mystery of this series of specials. Because mentioning the flux doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything for the plot of the specials. It just says, we're not forgetting about this plotline, don't worry. There is also a seriously missed opportunity with the scene we have with the Doctor and not Donna, mirrored with Donna and the not Doctor. You got that? So we have these two scenes, and we have the Doctor and not Donna, like, talking about the flux and all that. And then on the other side, we have Donna and the not Doctor just talking about how to figure out which one's which I feel like would have been, it would have hit so much harder if we had something emotional also happening with Donna. Maybe, like, he could mention things that the Doctor hasn't told Donna. Putting in that seed of, does she really know him that well? Like, she starts to question who he is anymore. Has he changed a lot in the last 15 years? She doesn't know. She only like met up with him a few days ago. And after that, it could really build into some tension that maybe after a while they can't tell the difference between them because they don't actually know each other that well anymore. This leads into the scene that I think could have been lost. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, that was the best scene, why would you say that? But the scene I think that could have been lost is the scene where the Doctor takes the wrong version of Donna. Because in this version, we have the build-up of tension of like, do they actually know each other? And with this whole situation of which Donna do you pick, it would be much more gratifying if the Doctor chose the right version of Donna on the first go. Because this would bring home that they still do know each other more than trivial things. that their relationship is still solid, that they still have that connection, and the doctor can tell somehow that this is Donna. When you are writing your story, think about what you are trying to say. What is the purpose of this story? And focus on that. It is the catalyst for everything. Because it's at the center of all your characters' minds. They are racking their brains. What is going on? And everything in this universe can revolve around that one mystery. Because it is the universe you are creating. So all of it can be connected. And it should be connected. That is it from me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, leave a comment if you have any thoughts on the episode, and also if you want me to talk about anything else related to Doctor Who and or writing, leave that down in the comments. What did you think about the episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I know a lot of people love this. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Yeah, I will not stop watching the show because I love it. And I love to hate it. So yes, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys next week with my wrap up for the 60th anniversary specials and my video on the giggle. Good times. Okay, bye.